The upgrades to the Linden Highway is a part of several key plans that the government has outlined for the Upper Demerara Berbice region. 800 part-time jobs to enhance household income, 250 small business grants for persons desirous of starting or enhancing their small businesses, and 5,000 gold scholarships for this region. These interventions were underscored by Vice President Dr. Bharrat Jagdeo on a recent visit to the region. Our cameras traveled to Linden Region 10 to speak with citizens about these developments, illustrating the PPPC government's determination to advance the living standards of citizens in the region.
Well, the Vice President visited Linden on Sunday, and I think it's the greatest achievement that Linden people ever achieved after 7 years. A true leader come to Linden and lay out his progress that he's made for this region since he go in office, and even extend more than what he planned to do for now for 2025, and after them we're going to go back into power for extend it more further. I feel that is the biggest achievement that Linden get, because over 7 years we never had a leader otherwise than the PPP government who come in on this ground and meets people every day of the week. You see someone in the government visiting Linden. And another thing too, that he lays out that so much young people who get achieved of the scholarship, the gold college scholarship. He even talk about small grants that young business can get a start, and who already start can develop themselves more. He even mentioned about the road from Linden to Lethem. That is a big boost to Linden. He even mentioned about the highway from Suicide Junction for Linden. So it definitely showing that Linden will be so fast on their feet. All the people in Linden need to do is just prepare and get themselves organized.
So I'm here with GIRLINE BOWEN, another West Watuka resident. Now, GIRLINE, the Vice President was here with his team. Share your thoughts on the visit.
At least so I thought as the Vice President come, it was good that he come, and he had a lot of thoughts about what we doing for the community and we doing for Linden. As same as he talk about the highway that we doing for the highway. He talk about the churn and crash grant, and that is very good that we do. He talk about the road going to the interior. At least it gave people, a lot of people, a chance to come out. He talk about the work that he's gonna provide for the people, and the 800 works at whatever thing in the churn. The people in the community need it. They need work because get a lot of young people don't have work. And at least what he's doing something very good for the community and for the Linden. Linden people need a chance to do something, get up in life in certain things. And what he do for we is something very good. And I appreciate everything that he do for Region 10.
The Vice President also spoke about 5,000 scholarships for this region to better prepare persons for the oil and gas sector and things that are the transformation Guyana is going through. Would you advise young Guyanese or young persons out of Region 10 to register for the Gold program and become certified and take part in the scholarship program?
Yes, I'll encourage a lot of people, because a lot of people get papers and don't have a chance to do something. And for giving the scholarships to somebody and help, like teaching them for learn to do something good is very good. At least I will encourage all Lindeners people, the youths, to do something good for them.
RICKFORD GOMES, a resident of West Watuka. Now, RICKFORD, tell me, what do you think about the recent visit by the Vice President? And also, did residents of Region 10 have access to high-level government officials under the previous administration, as how the President, the Vice President have been visiting the region?
Okay, to answer your first question, the visit by the Vice President Dr. Bharrat Jagdeo, it was excellent. His speech on infrastructure, education, and health, I think that were the three main areas for any government to give the support to members in any communities. Yeah.
Now, the VP also mentioned the creation of 800 part-time jobs for Region 10. recently a call center which was opened under the PPP administration was reopened, employing 125 persons, and they're expanding to employ 175 more. What are your thoughts on those 800 jobs and the impact it would have on persons in this region?
Well, we have a lot of youngsters in Linden here who are jobless, and we have some school left out, maybe probably having their good education, CXC or whatsoever, you understand? And I think the 800 jobs, I think the youngsters should take advantage over it.
So I'm here talking with Don Hector, resident of Canvas City, Region 10. Now, Don, tell me your thoughts on the Vice President's visit to the region.
The visit was okay, and the people spoke out. He did an individual speech, talk with each, and then he do it in groups, and it's very good, excellent.
Was that kind of interaction there under the previous administration?
No, we never had that. The only PPP government does meet to your door if possible. The president would sit down anywhere with you and talk. Only with the PPP government you just find this way. We never find it with the APNU.
Now, the Vice President also announced business grants, resurfacing of the highway, 800 part-time jobs for the region to cushion the high cost of living that is happening now. As a resident of Region 10, what do you think about those initiatives?
It's a very good initiative. Very good initiative. And we know there is nothing that, we only have the bauxite company, the aluminum plant is down, right? And the bauxite company now is actually going out of business, right? I think what he did is the initiative for the 800 workers that they could travel to Georgetown or wherever they could get the jobs. Another thing with the grant is a good initiative. I already did my compliance, and now I have to take it in to get the grant. I hope when I go in there I could get my grant, right? Because as you could see here, I'm a seamstress.
Now here with ONIKA Williams, another Canvas City resident. ONIKA, share your thoughts on the VP's and his team's visit to the region.
Well, our Vice President visit was excellent. We're happy to have the interaction with him. The people of Linden was very excited for able to communicate and state their views and the problems that was going on within our community.
So the Vice President also announced 5,000 scholarships for Region 10. Young people, adults like yourself, can register and take part through the GOAL initiative. Would you encourage residents from Region 10 to take part and upgrade their education?
Yes, I will. And residents, please take the opportunity because it's very important for ourselves and our community and our country in the whole, because without the education, our country cannot push forward. And education is a way out of poverty. So with this opportunity, please, residents, please use it. And me as a mom with 5 kids that is going to high school, I know when they become me that age to go into the scholarship program, we will take full use of it. So Linden people, take full use of this opportunity.
You mentioned that you're a mother of 5. Share your thoughts on the return of the Because We Care grant for school-age children.
Well, the return, Because We Care grant, I am elated to have that. I am so elated about that venture that the government put out there because it benefit me and my kids in a great way because it cut back on the cost of buying school clothing. It cut back on the like 100% on the school clothing. So I just got to focus on the children books, but it has covered their school clothing completely. So I know the people of the entire Guyana is very happy concerning that.
Well, if I could get the grant, I would expand my business, also stack it up with goods, and make sure everything alright with all to the business.
The cash grant that we are offering to these small businesses is not bad. Boost up the place and the things happening in Linden. God, so much thing more could happen in Linden. So much thing could happen.
As a young person yourself, would you be interested in furthering your education and taking part in the GOAL initiative?
Yeah, no any problem with that is always be room to improvement. It doesn't matter which age you're in. It's always be room for improvement. More experience is life. So I ain't get a problem with that.
What do you think about the reopening of the call center and the provision of those jobs to Lindeners?
Well, I think it's a good idea. Because it's taking more young people out of job. City call center could be one of them.
So Sandy, now with these grants being given out, when you apply and you get your grant, what's your plan to do with it?
I would finish off my shop that I started in my yard. It reached a zinc height, right? It just needs the zinc to go on, and a little fine things like the counter and the shelves and so
Right.
on. So when I get that money, I would finish off my shop and stack it, right? And that would be beneficial to me. And I got a small daughter, she's go to LTI. She's supposed to graduate very soon. I'm a single parent and I need to fulfill our desire by when she's about to graduate. I gotta find some money. You know the expense you gotta get with the gowns and the different things, right?
Right.
So I really would appreciate that loan. It would do me.
I'm here at Blueberry Hill with DEON Vincent. Now, Mr. Vincent, share your thoughts on the visit by the Vice President and his team recently here in Region 10.
Well, I was so happy when I see the Vice President in Linden and his initiative that he spoke about, because I know he's a Vice President that stick to his word. He said he's going to do the work on Mabura Road, the highway, and other streets in the community. And I was so proud to hear that he's in Linden, because in Linden, for the longest while, we haven't seen nothing done in this community. And they're always trying to say that the government of the day always neglect Linden. But I know the Vice President is a man to his word, and within a few weeks, we will see things happening in Linden.
Okay, so Dr. Murray, the religious community here in Region 10 would have had a chance to sit down with the Vice President on his last visit here in the region. Tell us a bit about that meeting and what came out of it.
Well, the meeting with His Excellency, our dear Vice President, has been one of which of great impact. In fact, he spoke concerning the relationship between church and state, and see how we can better foster a better relationship so as to helping bringing development to our communities. In fact, one of the things that he pointed out was the need for government to give even more assistance with dealing with rehabilitation services towards young people who were once violators, who were went in or incarcerated for simple crimes, and now they have to be reintegrated, rehabilitated into the communities. And so he spoke on how to better and foster a better relationship into getting them into programs through religious organizations, for example, like our church, Kairos Church in Wisrock Phase 1B, and see how we're going to work with helping the community, bringing development and helping children, helping basically everyone that needs help. And so they're willing to come on board. The government of Guyana is willing to come on board with the church so as to establish and even foster a One Guyana.
Mm-hmm. Also announced at that visit was the availability of 5,000 scholarships to persons in the region. How important do you think is an initiative like this in terms of making Region 10 residents ready for the oil and gas sector, and in general, just making them more qualified persons?
Well, I can say to the fact that I myself am a graduate from the University of Havana, where was a former scholarship student under previous then President Bharrat Jagdeo, who through which I was one of the 300 soldiers that went across and came back, graduated as a doctor, and now I'm here with this facility. So if I myself am a testimony to the fact of such a program, what about 5,000 more Lindeners? That would be even phenomenal for our young people at this point in time. We have so many educated youths who are yearning for an opportunity, and I at that time wanted that opportunity, and now it's an honor and it's a pleasure to hear such an announcement of where we would have the same being manifested and the same opportunity being given to them. So my community would be flabbergasted by such a message.
Finally, their business community will benefit from 250 grants. Now, we all know we're coming out of the COVID period. There is the war in Ukraine, which is causing shipping and pricing issues. Do you see these grants pushing the economy in Region 10 further once they're distributed?
Of course. Our community is a community we are fighters, meaning that we fight to thrive above what is expected. And even in such an economy and a world where things are very shaky, due to the rise in different prices. And we thank God for the 0% rating now that we've received from the government of Guyana concerning petrol. But with the grants associated with it, it would give a boost, an economic boost to our community by providing such grants for especially those who are young entrepreneurs, those who have been in business and have suffered tremendous losses due to COVID-19. It would give them like a restart. And so everyone needs a restart, and this is the opportunity that we are in dire need of at this time.
I'm glad to hear that the government is looking after these jobs opportunity, Linden and around the country, right? I'm really glad to fit in all as possible. That's a very good driver. You understand?
All right, so the president would have announced the possibility of persons planting hemp in the region. Are you aware of that, and is that something that you might be interested in once it comes on stream?
Well, I'm aware about it a couple of years ago when the president first mentioned it, and now we're coming back with it again. Yeah, we get a lot of lands. We get acres of land. We get like 6-7 acres of land. All we just weed it, grass grow, weed it, grass grow. We don't plant marijuana, but hemp we could take a chance because if the fun in the poison and the seeds of them thing, we could able to do it, and able to give the government at least they could do something and make a market for the people, at least me and my wife and family. We could go down to the line for now. And so far it could meet, maybe there will be our break. We have a land for it. All we gotta get is the seed and the works put out, The grant will be good too because it's gonna help me pay the workers or pay the excavator man for bulldozer place and thing, and we could able to make a nursery thing. Because at the time when I small, we used to plant tobacco in Melissa, just come to school, and it's wonderful. We planted, they give you the seed, they give you the poison, they give you the land, they give you all tools, and then when it grow and it get ripe, and then we put it in the barn and then bake it, and then we carry it to the company and they wait and they'll give us the money, take what they have to take and give us. And me and my mom, no sir, get you properly with it. So you come in the game with planting through the government. It's wonderful. And I thank the PPP government for doing what they're doing. It's wonderful.
Mr. Fordyce, tell us your thoughts on the visit by the VP and his team.
Oh, well, the visit by the Vice President and his team last Sunday gone to Linden Region 10, it was an excellent one. It was one that was needed, long needed in Linden. and he was well accepted by the resident in Linden, which was wonderful. And you know, the amount of things that the Vice President, initiative that the Vice President talk about, that they have in train for the people of Linden and Region 10 of the whole, it was so wonderful, and it is, these plans are things that are needed for the development of the people in Region 10. Also, the people of Region 10, after the Vice President had left, yesterday for example, so many persons talked to me about the Vice President visit and his thought for the development for the people in Linden and Region 10. It is huge. It is huge. They're now just waiting for the government to implement these plans that the Vice President talk about. And I had to explain to some of them and let them know that all these things that the Vice President promised and talk about, these are things that is going to be happening in a very short period of time. So there is no need for them to be fear or wondering to know whether and when. But these things will take place in a very short time.
Okay. Now, several announcements made on the visit. Resurfacing of the Linden Highway, hopefully that should begin in June. The 200 to 250 grants to the business community, 5,000 scholarships for Region 10. As a resident of this region, did you have this sort of access where officials came to the region and outlined a plan or a trajectory for the region under the last administration?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. And I'm a person in the community. I'm a community person. And you know, every day actually I'm all around the communities, and I never heard of any person from the previous administration come to Linden, to the people of Linden in whole. I don't know if they had small meetings, but a meeting like what the Vice President had out here, the outreach, they never had something like that where they come and explain to the people of Linden and Region 10 of such a plans and development for the people of Linden.
So, Mr. Chesney, share your thoughts on the meeting, or I should say outreach, by the Vice President and his team in Region 10 recently.
It was perfectly correct. We need this kind of impression and these type of job opportunities and all the good things for Region 10. We need that, and it's a great help. And I only hope it can spread not only certain areas, but all the areas. Setting down here is a poor neighborhood and a rough neighborhood. It's the other side neighborhood. So we have to try and get things going down here to encourage people that we are doing the right stuff.
Now, the Vice President would have made several announcements. The resurfacing of the Linden Highway, 5,000 scholarships for persons in Region 10, 250 grants to the business community in Region 10. How do you see these initiatives helping Region 10 residents?
It would help Region 10 because we need that. We're struggling here since the bauxite, thing has we call it deteriorated, and not the workforce. So we need these extra things to get people encouraged.
Now, the restoration of the Because We Care grant, it was increased. It's now 25,000 and then 5,000 for the school uniform voucher. As a senior in the community, have you seen the impact for, let's say, single parents and parents with multiple children having issues with providing them with the necessities for school?
Yes, positively, because it is so encouraging. I asked my wife to get a baby so we can get some money. But it's very encouraging. A lot of the young people came to me and I felt glad to know that you can get that help for the children to go back to school. Positive, because it had a lot of problems in some of them. To walk in, they can't take transportation, it was tight. So this is a great thing by the President, Vice President.
Tell me what you think about the 250 grants for the small businesses.
Good morning. I applied for it and I'm awaiting for result. I'm waiting for them to call me. Yes.
And what kind of business are you involved in?
I'm a cosmetologist.
So what are you hoping to do if you get through with the grant?
Enhance my business, stock up my shop and,
I am happy to know that the government is doing something, especially for this Linden community, because the people in here, they are suffering a lot and they need things to be done.
Okay. Do you have grandchildren or any children that are still in school?
Yes.
So how did you feel about the cash grant being returned to school-age children?
Of course, it is helpful in some way. It must be able to fill a hole.
The Binance BPO call center was recently reopened in Linden, employing 125 persons in this region. Plans are currently afoot to increase this employment to 175, taking it to 300 persons. We stopped by in Linden to speak with some of the agents here at the call center to find out what it is like being employed after such a long period. So I'm here with LENDISHA Joseph, another employee here at the Midas BPO. Now, LENDISHA is a resident of Amelia's Ward who is also an entrepreneur who had to close down due to COVID and other unforeseen circumstances. Now she's employed here at the Midas BPO. Tell us about the experience.
Oh, it has been a great experience for me here at Midas. It gave me the opportunity to earn after the business wasn't as successful due to slow foot traffic and so on. But it's really been great, the experience here, and it's all been great for me.
So the Vice President was here recently and would have alluded to 250 grants being available to entrepreneurs in this region. Would you be applying for one of those grants?
Definitely. Those grants would actually help me to boost my business that I was doing previously, and I would definitely be applying indeed.
Now, also, it was announced 5,000 scholarships for persons in the region. How important do you think it is for Region 10 residents to upgrade their qualifications and skills?
Upgrading your qualifications is super important in my opinion, and that's actually something that will boost the Lindeners here, and we would appreciate that so much.
Now talking with Roshana McBean, another employee at the Midas BPO. So Roshana, how long have you been employed here?
5 months.
And what has the experience been like?
All right, well, my experience at Midas BPO have been a little challenging, but it's been a great stepping stone because I've been able to grasp a lot of concepts, morals, and skills to help me better myself and influence others into the work.
Okay. So in talking before, you would have said that this is your first job. Was this the first place that you applied after leaving LTI?
Yes, it was.
And is employment something hard to find in the region?
Yes. Well, when I was first employed, before we had Midas BPO.
So Midas is expanding to employ a further 175 persons. Do you think your peers and other residents are excited about these job opportunities that will come on stream soon?
Yes, because I think it's a great stepping stone for starting in the world of work.
So here with Shoshana Roberts. Now Shoshana, tell me a bit about employment in Linden. Is it something easy, hard? What is it like for persons in the region?
I would say it's very challenging. I won't say it's too hard because they have jobs and opportunity here. But regarding your qualification, what you finish high school with, your diploma, degree, anything, it's based on that, all right? So me as a person that didn't went to UGS yet, I have my subjects, but looking for a job, the Regional Democratic Council, hospital, anywhere, there's none really available. So when Midas came to Linden last October, it was a great opportunity because when I applied, you had the feeling that yes, you would have been called for the job. And I had a lot of friends excited coming in. If you all could remember, there was a really big crowd outside for the fair. Yes, so a lot of persons applied, a lot of them get through, and we have much more still here right now. All right.
So Midas is expanding to employ another 175 persons. Do you think Lindeners and persons in the region further afield would jump on board?
Yes, I do urge them to because they know, based on experience, most of my colleagues, my friends, and the community that I'm in, the rate is very low. Most people need jobs. So I do urge them, if they're not interested, I do urge them to get on board and get into Midas because here you can work for what you want to get paid. It's not a flat salary.
So the Vice President would have announced 800 part-time jobs for Lindeners. Do you see this as a good intervention with Midas and an additional 800 jobs to employ more persons in the region?
Not just good, great. That's excellent. When I heard the news, I was elated because even persons that have a job that's like 8 to 5 and they have another part-time job in the night, just to help with the cost of living that is rising in the recent times, yes. So it's a really good initiative from the Vice President.
You spoke about not attending UGAs yet. 5,000 scholarships are set aside for persons in this region, degrees, diplomas, these things like that. What do you think about that, and are you planning to take advantage of it?
Yes, so like I said, as yet, that's in my agenda. This September, I plan to do business administration at UG. Yes, I'm signing up.
These meetings, hosted at Watuka House, Linden, are a part of the administration's effort to engage persons on the ground to get a better understanding of their issues with a view of resolving them. Joining the Vice President during the outreach were CD Minister with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, Local Government and Regional Development Minister, Nigel Darmlao, Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd, and Public Works Minister Bishop Juan Edgel, who is the party's Region 10 representative.